Congratulations, you graduated from uni. Now what? You start thinking about applying for jobs and think, this shouldn't be too hard, right? I got a decent result in my university degree, and surely I'm going to be able to find something. Then the rejection emails start slowly coming in. They don't stop at all. You think, well, this is just AI's fault. Companies aren't even reading my applications anymore. So you think, let me just start getting AI to write my applications using ChatGPT. Everyone's doing it. I might as well use it to give an advantage. Still, there's more rejections. Perhaps you try getting some part-time work just in the meantime until you get that dream position, and you're faced with the exact same problem. People start advising you, go in person. You try it, and they don't really want to give you anything other than just, apply online. We're only accepting applications online. You think maybe I'll go to some networking events. This might be a good place to go, right? It's within my field of expertise, except everyone's already thought that. The conversations, they're okay. The presentation was fine. It feels a little bit transactional, but at least you got a free slice of pizza, maybe two. You really try on LinkedIn. And it really just destroys your love for LinkedIn and destroys any kind of passion you have. You start DMing people, you're trying to build up your profile. You get very transactional responses. You may even just get ghosted. After a while, without it being necessarily your own fault, you start getting really depressed. You've sent so many DMs that don't issue you in the best, right? Just because you're so desperate, you're not thinking through them. And trust me, I've had those kind of experiences with myself and then also just other people. You think about getting more qualifications, but then that's costly and more expensive, more time, more effort has to go in. You get distracted by, okay, maybe I need to learn this new skill. You just keep trying different things, but eventually it just becomes really difficult. Like, I really relate to a lot of people in here, and mentally, I understand what a lot of people just go through. You start questioning yourself, like, am I actually good enough to be doing this? Was my degree even worth the time and the effort I put in? What am I doing wrong? Is it just the environment? Is it me? Your confidence really starts to sink. Even let's say you get an interview, you're carrying all that extra anxiety with you in the room, and it's a lot to bear with. So why am I actually telling you this today? Because this is exactly why I started the user needs in the first place, from the DMs, through the messages I was getting. There are thousands of people who are just about to graduate, and they experience exactly what I've just described right now. I've had DMs over the years from people who are struggling with this a lot. I'll be honest, at times I've got frustrated with people just from the fact that I just feel like these responses and DMs are just not paving them in the best way. The more I thought about it, people don't necessarily need another qualification. They just need the right people around them to support them and encourage them. People don't just need another course. They need community. They need people around them who understand what they're trying to build. People they can collaborate with. People they can learn from. Sometimes they just need someone to tell them, keep going. You're more capable than you think you are. If you made it this far into the video, I want to give you some advice, some motivation, which is you dictate your success and your future. Don't let someone else's circumstances determine what you're truly capable of. Trust yourself. Take the time to really understand what you're actually passionate about. Understand yourself and have a vision of where you want to go. Then start taking steps towards it. Motivation alone isn't enough. You need to build something that will keep you going and have systems so that you can deal with all areas of your life. For me, the three things I think are really important are building evidence. Don't just tell people you're a designer, show them. Build projects. Share your process. Break down apps you use. Create case studies. Talk about what you're learning. Because when someone looks at your profile, you want them to see the evidence of what you actually do. You don't want your CV just to say, I'm good at UX. You want to be able to show people that you're good at UX. The same thing applies outside of UX. Whatever field you're in, start creating things that demonstrate you're capable You really can just create your own experience. And I know there's frustrations that happen within life, but everyone wants that experience of working in an industry. Then you often hear it said, how am I even supposed to get experience when nobody will give you the opportunity? I'm here to tell you, you need to create your own experiences. Work on a friend's business, help a charity, build something yourself, take on a small project, collaborate with someone. It may not be your dream project straight away. It may not even pay you, but you're no longer sitting there waiting for someone to give you permission to start. You're actually doing something. That gives you something to talk about. It gives you something to show, and it gives you experience. Finally, I just want to say, find your own people, because that is probably one of the biggest things I've realized is you don't have to figure out everything by yourself. Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say, I'm not a self-made man, because he had so many people help him out with bodybuilding and his training and his diet and exercise. Find designers who are at the same stage you're at. Find people who are slightly ahead of you. Find people you can collaborate with. Find people you can learn from, because networking can sometimes feel really transactional. You're messaging someone because you want to build something with them. You're messaging someone because you want something from them. What if instead of thinking about networking, you thought about building genuine relationships? You might meet someone who becomes a collaborator, someone who becomes a mentor, someone who becomes a friend. You help someone else, and years later, they remember that. You don't know where these relationships are going to lead. That is ultimately why I want the user needs to become. I want it to become a global community where designers can connect and collaborate and grow together. Not just through LinkedIn, not just through networking, like a genuine community where you can find people who are going through the same journey, because we've all been there at times, where you can collaborate with each other, where you can ask for help, where you can share what you're working on, where hopefully I can be there to help you, because I really love UX design and I really love helping people. This is not easy. There will be days where I'm up at 4 a.m. trying to make videos, days where things don't work, days where people aren't going to watch the videos or just not subscribe or just ignore it. I'm going to question whether this is going to work, but I'm willing to put in the work, because someone has to start something. That's what action is about. It's about starting. I'd rather try to build something that could genuinely help people than just sit around waiting for someone else to do it. Because if the user needs can help even just one person, that already is a success. If I can help that designer who feels completely lost after graduation, then it's worth it. So if you're graduating, you've just graduated, or you're feeling stuck right now, you're not alone. This is just the beginning of your career. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and come along with the journey. I'm going to be sharing more UX related videos very soon, as well as documenting the journey of building the user needs. Hopefully we can build something great together. I'll see you in the next one.